Hi there, I'm Dr. Vidhya, and I am so grateful to you for taking time out to not only trust me and to invest this time with me, but to also thank my partners in this collaboration, which we've especially created just for you with the beautiful Curvy Kate. So I want to thank you so much because if not for Curvy Kate and if not for you, then all of this would not be happening. So this is brought to you to show you and teach you exactly how to manifest whatever it is that you want, how to create the life that you want. Now, a little bit about me before we move on to this free, absolutely free mini course just for you. I am Dr. Vidhya. Full name is Dr. Vidhya Maheshwaran Kumaranayagam, long Sri Lankan surname there. I'm a GP, so medical doctor, consultant, family physician. I'm also a mum to two cheeky monkeys. I'm a wife, so that's three cheeky monkeys, and I'm also an award-winning doctor with the Royal College of General Practitioners. I'm a published author with my own publishing company called Athena Publishing House. Absolutely love teaching and really providing multimedia resources to help people grow in their mind, body, and spirit. So within that, I'm a #1 best-selling author, I do a podcast, I got my own YouTube. So there's a range of things I do. But my main thing is really getting absolute reach in my message of self-healing, self-empowerment, awakening, and rising and thriving to be the absolute best version of you in mind, body, and spirit that you were born to be, to know how amazing that you are. All right. Now, all of this, every single one of these videos are evidence-based, right? Now, this may come across as woo-woo, but just remember that I am a medical doctor. I don't say these things to, impress you, but to impress upon you the importance of what I'm going to be teaching you. This is exactly what I teach my patients and what I teach my clients, as I'm also a high performance mindset coach as well. So I have worked under Bob Proctor, who you may know from The Secret, and I've learned a lot of the law of attraction manifestation from himself, as well as a doctor, as a medical doctor, teaching this to my patients, because that is how incredible this information is, how powerful this material really is. Above all, any medicine or therapy or anything like that, you would, of course, disclaimer here, see your doctor and therapist if that's what you feel you need. But ultimately, the power is within you. So we'll be moving on to our first session. Our first session that I've been asked to teach about, which I'm really grateful for, is on self-love. Now, why is this so important? A lot of people think, oh, self-love, self-care, oh, it's just such a luxury. Particularly in the Western world, where I'm from, I live in London, in the United Kingdom. There is almost a sort of strange, unhealthy competition to see who is more stressed. Yeah, who's working longer hours, who's slept the least. It's really very actually unhealthy, because you see people have completely lost their power sometimes in understanding what self-love really means. Self-love means that you understand the power within you that everyone has. All right. You see, what it all comes down to is this: energy. Okay, we are all a mass of vibrating cells, of atoms, right? We learned this, or you may be learning this in chemistry, in physics. This is pure science that I'm teaching you right now. Now, we are all vibrating at a specific frequency, all right? Our cells are vibrating at a specific frequency. This frequency is measured in hertz, H-E-R-T-Z. There's actually a huge range of frequencies that our cells can be vibrating at. And this is dependent on what we are feeling, our emotion. And this is why emotional health, under the umbrella term of mental health, but emotional health is so crucial to healing, to being empowered, to being awakened, right? To the inner warrior within you, to rising and thriving through absolutely any challenge, no matter what is happening in your internal world or what is happening on the outside. Because it all comes down to that frequency. There is a huge range of frequencies. And did you know that the highest level that you can be vibrating at is pretty much the frequency of love, of enlightenment, of peace? It's right up there. It's almost around, I think it may be around 1,000 hertz or so. And this is actually measured on what's called the Hawkins pyramid. The Hawkins, using the law of vibration. This is one of the universal laws. And this is actually the primary law. Actually, law of attraction is a secondary law. So with law of vibration, this is a universal law. This is actually physics that we're talking about. So that's why I always find it quite funny when people think this is, woo-woo, or they use sort of interesting terms like that, because actually this is physics and it's as far from woo-woo as you can get. This is hardcore science. And this is what most interested me as a medical doctor, because I found that this is what it came down to in not every single case, but majority. Whenever there was maybe a therapy that didn't work or a medication, of course, we would always try the next one and the next one, etc. But after a period of time, it became quite evident that with many of my patients, so of 10,000 plus patients in the 12 plus years that I've been a medical doctor at the time of this recording, I have found that often it is actually stress related. Whatever they're experiencing, it may often be related to deep unresolved emotional wounds. Sometimes this even stems back generations, right? Sometimes they're even carrying around negative belief systems, also known as a paradigm, from generations ago. It's actually their parents, right? Or even their grandparents. So further along, it's not even really their own belief. It's something they've kind of carried along with them. And this is why it's really important that you understand you. What are your self-limiting beliefs? What are belief systems that you think you have that may be holding you back? So a negative belief system is anything which is not coming from a place of love and light, coming from a place of unconditional love and light. And that's what self-love comes down to. Knowing that you are a warrior. You have absolute bulletproof confidence. And that confidence, which we're going to come into in a whole separate lesson on that confidence, all of that comes down to self-love. Absolutely having unconditional love for yourself. That is the most important relationship, actually. Of course, I've got kids, I'm married, I've got, my beautiful parents and my sister, I've got, wonderful friends, and I'm very, very grateful. I'm very blessed, as many of us are. But ultimately, and this is not selfish, it's really important to take care of that relationship with yourself. This is not a luxury. Okay? Don't put yourself last, because actually that is where the problems start. As a mother, for example, I know I am a phenomenal mother. I know that I am at my most giving when I've given to myself first. I'm not pouring from an empty cup. In fact, I've taken time. It doesn't have to be a huge amount of time, but it is about consistency. Yeah, doing something even if it's 10 minutes every single day. That is what it's about. It's not about a spa day once in a blue moon. That's not enough. This is why you need a daily routine, okay, of something which is manageable, something where you can definitely get in your self-care no matter what. And this includes meditation, okay? This includes, don't worry too much about how do I meditate and the exact formula and all of those things. People worry too much about that. This is about focusing in, going inside and checking in on how you are. Of course, it is super important to have a beautiful network around you. It's not about the number of people. It really is not. All right. I'm a very sociable person. If you ask anyone who knows me, I'm very, very, very sociable. But ultimately, what I found it always comes down to is it's the quality of friendships. It's not the quantity. Yeah. It's the quality. It's how healthy the relationships are. And I mean all relationships, friendships, relationships with your parents, with your spouse, your romantic partner, your significant other, your children, or people you may be caring for, and ultimately with yourself. Sometimes we have to parent ourselves, and that's because we need to heal those deep inner child issues. So you see, it's not about sweeping things under the carpet and just saying some positive words. That does make you feel better, but this goes deep, and this is why. We are different as human beings because of our mind. Now we have a brain, and I'm not talking about that. Animals and mammals have brains too. But as far as we know so far, we are the only ones that have a mind. Now, that doesn't make us better, but what it does give us is self-awareness. It gives us amazing higher mental faculties, things such as intuition, perception, reasoning, will, imagination. Can you see how amazing these are? People think that these are just vague concepts. These are actual higher mental faculties that only human beings have. This is part of our mind. This is not a part of the brain. It may be processed by the brain. You know, a lot of this wasn't necessarily what I had learned in medical school. Okay. So this is really important that we really hone in on this, because a lot of what you believe and a lot of what I believe is based on our perception. It's based on what we see of the world. Yeah, there's two sides to every story. So it really is important that you're focusing on your perspective, and that perspective, that perception can change at any time. So what I want you to hone in on is on understanding the mind. We have the conscious mind, which is our educated mind. What does this mean? This is all the certificates, diplomas, all the education, you know, we've learned in school. I'm not belittling it. I think it's really important. I'm educated myself, right? I'm a university lecturer. So I think this is really, really important. However, this is nothing to do with understanding yourself. This is nothing to do with emotional health. Because that all comes down to your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is where your deep beliefs about yourself and the world come from, particularly about yourself. So you may be hearing from others all these positive things about you. You may be reading it in reports or career reports. You may be hearing it, right, in sort of positive YouTube videos. But if you don't believe it in your subconscious mind, then what you will find is that your actions are not going to change. But ultimately, truly, if you really love yourself, and the way to really show that is in what you really think of yourself.